Good evening, everybody, and happy Sunday to you. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday night, getting ready for the work week, or possibly tonight could be your Friday night if you're in the service industry. I do know a lot of people enjoy having Sundays off. I would like to come to you tonight here on January 31st, 2016, about 9:05 p.m. Central Time. I haven't done one of these personal videos for quite some time. I promise I'm going to keep this very brief. I have spoke to a lot of people lately that have complimented me on recovery and sobriety, and they want to know, like, where do I start? What do I do? Things haven't worked very well for me. I have been struggling. I've been missing work. My marriage is a wreck. My relationships are terrible. I've been sick constantly. Let's see, what else? I got a DUI, or I got in some more trouble, or I violated my probation, or I had to lie to my significant other because I got trashed last night and I don't remember how. I woke up in the same clothes I wore yesterday. I peed the bed and I don't know how that happened. I fell asleep in my car. Let's see. I made a mess of the kitchen after making food after a night out, and I don't remember the next morning how that happened. I left the stove on because I totally blacked out, and I don't understand why it's freaking red hot and possibly could have burnt my place down. All these examples are examples that I'm giving you that I have done. Those examples are reasons why I quit drinking. Did I quit drinking because it was cliche and in my family it's highly disregarded and a shameful person would only be a drunk? No. I actually didn't allow my childhood to be an issue. My childhood was actually very, very good. I had a very nice life growing up. My mom and my father raised my sisters and I to be amazing, to work hard, and to give life 100% all the time, to treat people as you should be treated and the way you want to be treated, to believe in God, to attend church when we can, and to be yourself and be who you are. So for me to figure out how to escape into this world of addiction, I have no clue where it started. But I do know that today I'm talking to you with 3 years and almost 8 months of sobriety. In June of 2012, I decided to finally stop after trying for so long. I tried the whole year of 2011 in and out of going to certain meetings, meeting with a psychologist, meeting with a doctor, meeting with a minister, talking to different people about how to stop drinking, and I couldn't figure it out. It just wasn't working for me. So going cold turkey, going to the gym twice, 3 times a day, none of that stuff worked for me. Okay, so honestly, I had to think of ways to stop drinking. I had to find an outlet. So I decided to try these 12-step meetings out again. And it actually started working for me. But it just wasn't going to the meetings. It was having that honesty with yourself and with everybody else in your life that you want to change, that you want to make changes. People talk about weight loss. People talk about how big one person is compared to the other, or you see pictures of comparisons. Well, in my life, it's the same thing. Yeah, I lost about 25 pounds when I got sober. I also improved my work ability. I also improved my relationships with my family. I basically bridged over some friendships that I ruined. I lost some very amazing relationships in my past because of alcohol. Alcohol destroyed me. It tore me apart. I never did drugs. I will be honest. I smoked marijuana sometimes. I took some Xanax when I needed. Those were to help out with the withdrawals when I really, really couldn't drink. But drinking became my crutch. And my crutch was because I was fully depressed. I was depressed and I was anxious of life. I would wake up on Sunday morning and I would think to myself, oh man, I have nothing to do today. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to start drinking. Mimosa at breakfast, beer at lunch. Before you know it, it was martinis, cocktails, then shots, and party. And God, I used to have to work Sunday nights, and I used to have to put on shows. And I don't even remember how I made it through half those times. And I know a lot of you people understand because you've seen me like that in the past. And now, for the last almost 4 years, you've seen me sober. I'm still pretty crazy, I honestly believe that. But in a good way. I have a lot of passion. I have a lot to give a person. Some people want to say, hey, Eddie, hey, why are you 37 years old? You don't have any kids. You're not married. What's going on with you? You know, are you gay? What's up with you? No, I'm not gay. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love women. I would just like to find somebody that meets my needs. I want to give my life to somebody that wants the same characteristics. We all want that perfect relationship, but is it out there? No. We have to work for it. We have to work hard for it. Sometimes in relationships, you have to give and take. And before you give and take in a relationship, you have to be ready for that relationship. You have to be ready and in place. That way you can give 50 and more to that relationship, if I make sense. I'm not doing this on script. I'm totally making this up as I go. And I don't mean I'm making it up like I'm pulling it out of my ass. I'm talking to you from my heart. I'm trying to tell you that at 37 years old, I look back at 31, and even when I turned 30, and I wish I could have fixed some things. I wish I could have started over on some stuff. Because honestly, my 20s were really good. I traveled a lot. I went to New York City probably twice a year. I went to church camps. I used to be in a Christian band. I DJ'd a lot. I attended church a lot. I was a youth pastor, believe it or not, for the early years of college when I was going to CMSU, which is now called UCM in Warrensburg. I taught voice lessons at a dance studio. I taught theater lessons. I played baseball. I played softball. I was very, very outgoing. I always loved being around people. I still do. But when things happened throughout my journey, I didn't understand how to deal with them. I didn't know where to turn. You would think, being a youth pastor and believing in Jesus Christ, that I would have turned to God. And I would have prayed to God and asked God to help me with some of the fears and anxieties and depression that I feel. I don't understand where I lost my touch in that. I don't know where I lost my connection. And then in 2006, one of my best friends, just a few days ago, 10 years ago, committed suicide. Cody Liberty. He was a Marine for our country. He fought for our country in Iraq. He grew up in Raytown, Missouri here, went to church with me at Blue Ridge Presbyterian Church in Raytown, Missouri. We were confirmed together in the church. We grew up together going to church camps. We were in all types of activities. We went to tons of Royals games together, Chiefs games together. We did all kinds of stuff together. Things got away from him. He went to Tampa. He was stationed all around the country. The details aren't really great because there was some times where I didn't want to think about it. I would want to escape from my emotions. I'd want to run away from the feelings that I feel. And those feelings were depression, were anxiety, were scared to be around and be here on this earth, to be alive. So I would drink. Drinking took those fears away. How I lost Cody in my life and how Cody took his own life in suicide, I don't agree with. I wish there would have been a better way for him to do that. A better way for him to figure out life. But it was too late. And his death to this day has marked a very hard emotional scar inside of me. But that's something that I have built off of recently. In the last few years, I have taken those deep, dark emotions that I was scared to admit for a long time, and I have used those to my benefit. On top of that, I had some downfalls too. We've all had that bad relationship that you go through. We've all had those bad experiences or those bad jobs. Honestly, I had a great line of career paths that I've already taken. I was a teacher at Operation Breakthrough for 10 years. I taught music. I was the director of music there. I worked in their marketing developing department. I did a lot of great things. I worked for Radio Disney, 1190 AM here in Kansas City. I've DJ'd throughout KC with different clubs, different venues. I've done tons of weddings, events, charity events. I've emceed different types of events. And of course, the best place in the world is the Quaff. And Godfather Joe is one of the best people ever. And Anthony is awesome too. Two of the most amazing gentlemen in my world, next to my father. So I will say that, honestly, I landed myself there. I like to perform. I like to get out in front of people. I like to be social. I like for you to come up and shake my hand. I like to say hi. I like to be outgoing. That's who I am. But where did it all go wrong? What happened? Depression, anxiety, fear of life, letdowns. Those things got in my way, and alcohol took over. It seemed to bridge the gap. That way I could move forward and I wouldn't have to think about stuff. I got to escape into my sickness of depression. There were times where I didn't want to leave. All I wanted to do was eat and drink and be merry. That's what I thought. Somehow I never lost my job. Somehow I never got fired from any of the jobs due to drinking. Somehow I didn't get DUIs out the you-know-what. And somehow I didn't get diabetes or kidney disease or any of that stuff. I'm very blessed. You know, I go to the doctor once a year. I get regular checks on everything. I'm very healthy, knock on wood. I just feel like sometimes I have to do this. I have to reach out to you guys. I have to be honest with you. I have to give you that honesty and let you know how it started and where it went wrong. And you know what? It's okay to admit if you've got a problem. It's okay to admit if you've got some depression or anxiety. And it's okay to admit if you feel scared for the next day. It's okay to admit if you feel like you can't go on. Because you can. You can stop hurting yourself. You can stop destroying yourself. You can stop lying to your friends and your family and your partners and your people and your significant others and whatever. And you can find happiness. You can find contentment. You can stop being powerless over something that has such a string on you. There are ways to be healthy. There are ways to give back. There are ways to be a part of this world, and it doesn't have to include getting wasted and waking up the next morning or waking up the next day or waking up halfway through the day and feeling like shit. Like horse shit. Like it takes almost 2 days, that way you can get back on your feet. That kind of hurt. And for me, yeah, I wish I could still socially drink sometimes. I wish I could have a Coors Light. Let's see, I always liked the vodka cranberry or possibly some margaritas with Mexican food, or maybe what, a glass of Merlot or Cab with steak, you know? Or just, you know, like I said, Coors Light. I was good with that. But I couldn't keep it at 1 or 2. Or I couldn't keep it at maybe even 3 or 4 on a Sunday on watching some football. It had to go to the next level. Thank God I never got introduced to Fireball back in those days. It's been almost 4 years now. So Jaeger was kind of a big deal back then. It seems like it wasn't that long ago. But you think about it. The last time I took a drink was on June 3rd, 2012. The next day after I came to, my best girlfriend that I call a sister, Alex Gardner, that's married now, got my ass off of the couch and got me down to a meeting and told me that you need to do this for you. You need to change your life. And I went and I came back. And then I went again and I came back. And I did it over and over. And I met new people. And I began to understand what this was. It's a very quiet program. We're not supposed to be out there, but that's who I am. I share my program because I want you to understand, and I want people to live. I don't want to read about people dying. I don't want to see on Facebook that somebody committed suicide, or I don't want to hear on the news report that some famous person got into a series of drugs and alcohol and overdosed. And I don't want to hear about a loved one. And this comes very close to my heart because I have some family right now that I'm dealing with. I don't want to hear about a loved one hurting themselves or doing things that will hurt their future. Or I don't want to hear about a best friend that is gone, like that happened to me 10 years ago. You can change your stars. You can change your life. And you can make this work. I promise you can. And you can still have fun. I have a blast. I go to Royals games. As you know, I go to Chiefs games. I go to concerts. Last Thursday, I went out to some clubs. I had a great time with some friends. I watched some amazing DJs. I love going out in venues. And yes, there's alcohol everywhere. There's alcohol across the street, probably. There's alcohol next door. Or maybe there's alcohol down the street at a party or two, or at a bar, or anywhere. Hell, there's a coffee shop over in River Market that sells alcohol also. I can get alcohol anytime. That's not the problem. The problem is, do I want it? Do I want to drink? No. I want to stay sober, and I pray to God every night that I do. And I'm going to continue to work hard to spread this knowledge that I know. And yes, I'm going to continue to DJ, and I'm going to continue to perform when I can. It's an expression for me through music. I enjoy it. I may not be the best, and you don't have to get technical here, but I love it. And the one thing I also love is what I do full time. I work with special needs children, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, a global disease from the head to the toes. There are children that will never walk, never speak, never be able to even have a conversation with you, or even possibly go to the bathroom by themselves. But I choose to work with these children because I love what I do. I love working with these kiddos Monday through Friday at Children's TLC. I'm hoping to land and retire one day from this organization. This organization is beautiful. It's got great, wonderful people inside of it, and it's going places. It has changed in the last year. The Rehab Institute of Kansas City has merged with Children's TLC, and I think that good things are going to be coming from this. We've had a lot of turnover, and we've had a lot of changes, but I think good things are coming. So I'm going to hold on. But what I'm going to say one last time, and I'm so sorry this has gone long, and I appreciate those that have stuck around and listened, that no matter what you're going through, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're going through a divorce, if you're going through a breakup, if you're just upset with life, and you know you're sad, and you go to bed upset, and you wake up early and you're upset, and you go on your lunch break and you don't know what you want because you just don't want to eat because everything sucks, and you're angry all the time, or you're upset all the time, or you don't want to talk to anybody, then something's wrong. It's time to fix something. It's time to change. Time to make a change. Time to stand up. People stand up for cancer. People stand up for AIDS relief. People stand up for disabled children. People stand up for a lot of things. Why can't we stand up for recovery? Recovery is very important too, because up here, we need to continue working on getting forward, on moving to a place where we don't ever have to go back there again. And back there would be getting totally wasted. That way we could function. And to be honest, I love waking up sober. I love smelling like the detergent that my clothes smell like, or possibly the body wash that I have on, or the cologne, or possibly maybe just from the food I had tonight. I can still taste it in my mouth. I don't have that nasty, gross, backwash of vodka or whatever else. And you know what? I used to love having that taste with some good food. And I used to love all that. But you know what? For me, honestly, that isn't made to happen. Socially, I can't drink anymore. Do I care if you drink? No, I don't care. I don't care if you drink all the time. I don't care if you drink around me or you smoke around me or what you do. That's your life. I'm not here to change you or make you do different things. I'm only trying to give you a resource to reach out. Inbox me if you would like. Ask me some more questions about this. Because you know what? It's worked. I wouldn't be doing this video right now if I didn't believe in it. It has worked for some people, and it saves some people's lives. I promise you that. I will be honest with you that at 37 years old, I may not, have everything accomplished. I may not be perfect, but you know what? I have a lot of things that I do better now than I used to. So you know what? Ask yourself before you go to bed tonight, is everything good? Is everything all right? Is there anything you want to work on? Anything you want to change? Maybe going to the gym will help you. Maybe going for a walk. Maybe trying to eat a salad instead of a hamburger. I don't know. Whatever makes you happy. But if that only works for so long and you find yourself still waking up in the morning and being mad about last night, then what are you doing here? What are we all doing? It's time to make a change. It's time to do something different. It's time to stand up. There's organizations, there's resources, there's ways to stop. First off, if you're having a serious issue right now, call 911 and go to the hospital. Tell them that you are physically sick, you mentally are, your capacity is just tell them how you feel. And they're going to say come in, or if you walk in there, they're going to try to take care of you. You're going to have to detox if you're really, really seriously in that way. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. And people get so upset. Like, I'll talk to people and they're like, oh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. But I really want to get some help. It's okay. I'm not going to go tell your business. So I'll give you help. And I will tell you where to go. And I'll give you some resources. That's on you, on who you want to tell. But for me, I feel like it's God's right that He's given me to tell you where it started and where it's now at. So I am babbling now, and I'm going to let you go. I appreciate your time tonight. You guys have a great and wonderful week. And this past weekend, FanFest was great. I got to meet Terrence Gore at the Quaff. That was awesome. And if you're at the Quaff, come up to me and shake my hand. Say hi. Don't be afraid if you're drinking. I don't care if you drink. I don't care any of that stuff. You do not bother me if you're drinking. What bothers me is if I'm not taking care of my recovery. If I'm not taking care of myself. If I'm not working on being a better Eddie. That's what bothers me. So I do things like this. I go to meetings. I meditate. I work out. I do yoga. You name it. There are things that you have to do to stay healthy. Just like you do when you want to lose weight. Simple as that. It's nothing bad. I know a lot of people are out there thinking to themselves, oh God, I don't want to date somebody that might have a problem because what happens if they go back? Well, people do go back and people slip. Thank God that I had all of my slips in the beginning. I took a whole year of messing up before I finally decided to figure it out. And I hope to God I don't ever slip again. But you have to stay on it. And you know what? I know tonight that I'm not going to drink. I'm going to go to bed. And tomorrow, I'll deal with tomorrow when it comes. But I'm going to sign up for another 24 hours. And I'm going to let you know right now that you can too. So I hope to see you out this week. If you're going to be at the Super Bowl party, great. You know what? Have a Diet Coke on me. I'll talk to you later. This is DJ E coming live from E Production Studios. Good night.